Andiyan si Miss Mago, di ba?
Yes po, yes po.
Miss Mago, ikaw ba sumagot? Ang sulat?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Morning
For
po.
the first RFQ po ng PSDBM, I was the one who answered po the email.
Email.
Yes po, Your Honor.
Ano sinabi sa email? Magbigay kayo ng offer.
Po, yung pinakaunang email ng PSDBM, it says here, request for proposal. We kindly request for a price proposal for supply and delivery of surgical masks for the procurement service. Details are in the RFQ attached to this email po. And then let me also read the
What's the date?
The date of the email po, Your Honor, is on March 25, 2020.
March
25, 2020 po.
March 5, 2020. March
20.
25.
Yes po.
Tapos, ano sinagot niya?
Dito po sa RFQ ng PSD.
Excuse me lang, ano?
Yes po.
Mabilis lang tayo, mabilis lang, ha? Sino sumulat? Sino nakapirma?
Ang nakapirma po is Attorney Michelle Ann Recto.
Ano?
Attorney Michelle Ann B. Recto.
Michelle Ann D.
Recto.
Recto. Alright? Tapos, sinagot mo.
Yes po, Your Honor. Dito po sa RFQ, there are 5 lots na ibibid po. These are all surgical masks and we only joined lot 5 po for 500,000 pieces of surgical mask.
500,000.
Yes po, Your Honor.
Magkano yun?
The unit price is 28 pesos and then approved budget for the contract is 8 million pesos po, Your Honor.
Wow. 28. Isa.
Again?
For the lot 5 na we joined po, quantity is 500,000 pieces, unit price is 28 pesos, and then the approved budget for the contract is 8 million pesos po, Mr. Chairman.
Director General, can you get a copy of that email, please? We are at a disadvantage.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. We'll ask
Right
them to
now, can you
send
send it
out.
right
Yes,
now,
Your-
please?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Sige po.
May computer ka dyan, di ba?
Yes po.
Dinitig mo yung dokumento, di ba?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Padala mo kagad sa Blue Ribbon.
Okay, Your Honor. Ito po, sasend ko na po.
Alam mo ang address namin?
I have the email address po.
Okay, sige. So, 8 million muna. Yan ang unang-una, 8 million.
Yes po, Your Honor.
8 million pesos worth?
Yun po yung approved budget for the contract. That's the ceiling budget po for the contract, Your Honor.
Paano mo nalaman? Yun ang sinabi sa inyo.
Yes po, ito po yung laman ng RFQ mismo, Mr. Chairman.
8 million pesos. Alright?
Yes.
So, pagkatapos doon, nag-supply na kagad kayo. Pinayagan kayo.
Nag-respond po kami with the...
Sino kami? Sino nag-respond?
Ako po, through email po, Mr. Chairman.
Email. Padala mo rin yan. Yung email na yan.
Yes po.
Sige. Anong respond nyo?
After namin na... nag-respond ako March 26, Your Honor.
Walang usapan niya na panay email lang, ha?
Yes po. Puro email po, Your Honor.
Puro
And-
email. Wow. Ha? Sige, go ahead.
And then on April 6, 2020, I received an email po for the notice of award for the Lot 5 surgical mask.
Excuse me, sandali. Sino kausap mo muna yan? Pinadala mo yung email. Kanino mo pinadala?
Let me check po. Pinadala ko po yung email sa pd8@ps-philjeps.gov.ph.
Attention who?
Attention to Mr. Patrick Dave Magpantay.
Patrick who?
Patrick Dave Magpantay po, Mr. Chairman.
Patrick Magpantay.
Yes po.
Okay. Anong pinadala mo? You're going to abide by the order. You will fill in the order.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
500,000.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
All right? And you said, okay, we'll supply it at that price.
Yes po.
Anong unit cost?
Ang unit cost namin at that time is 27.72 pesos po.
27?
27.72 pesos.
27.72.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
27.72 pesos. Alright? Okay. So, pinadala nyo na yan. Agad.
Opo, Mr.
Sumagot
Chairman.
po na sila. Sumagot po na sila, di ba?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Ano yung sinagot? Sige, padala nyo na. Ganun ba?
Dito po kasi sa RFQ, Mr. Chairman, meron po ditong deadline kung kailan isasubmit po yung RFQ. The deadline is on March 26, 2020. And then I replied on the same day po, March 26, 2020.
Anong deadline? March?
26 po.
Ganun lang? Ganun lang kasimple?
Mr. Chairman, I believe this is the procedure of the PSDBM for negotiated or emergency procurement, but please allow someone from the PSDBM to verify my statement po.
You can do that. Don't tell me what to do right now because I'm asking you a question. Please respond. Ganun lang
Apo,
kasimple.
Yes po, I'm only
Padala na kayo kagad. Paano kayo binayaran?
I'm only explaining based on the timeline or the timetable of all our projects or contracts with the PSDBM po, Mr. Chairman.
Ito you're explaining. Paano kayo binayaran? Sa una palang order na yan.
Opo, so we delivered on time kasi on our
On time. Kailan on time?
we delivered po on March 25, 2020 based on my records po.
March 25, sabay. Nideliver nyo na kagad.
Yes po, Your Honor.
Meron kayo sa bodega nyo ng ganong karami?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Saan nyo dineliver?
We delivered to the warehouse of PSDBM at Paco, Manila po.
Okay. And then?
And then after that, nagkaroon po ng inspection with the inspectors of the PSDBM. So, satisfactorily nakapasa naman po yung mga items na pinasa namin, dineliver namin.
Nandun ka ba ng inspection?
Nagkaroon po ng visual inspection po.
Visual?
Yes po, Your Honor, based on the technical
Sino
specifications.
nag-inspection?
Our inspector at that time is Ma'am Nora. Ma'am Nora po.
Pakibukas mo lang bibig mo pag nagsasalita ka dahil kinakain mo yung salita mo. Anong pangalan ng inspector?
Our inspector at that time po is Ma'am Nora, Your Honor.
Ma'am?
Nora.
Nora
Salvador.
Salvador?
Yes po, Your Honor.
O pumasa. So binayaran kayo?
After the inspection po, Your Honor, ang procedure po is we submit the import document.
Procedure. I said binayaran kayo. Kailan kayo binayaran?
Let me check po kung kailan kami binayaran, Your Honor.
How long have you been in this company?
I've been with them since the incorporation date po, Your Honor.
Yeah. Ano?
Since the incorporation date po, September 2, 2019.
September 2, 2019. Diyan ka na?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
just a quick clarification, just a very quick clarification. They received the email with the permission of the chair. They received the email March 25 and they delivered also on March 25. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what she said.
So same day delivery, walang negotiation, walang pag-uusap, email lang. Tama ba
Order
yun?
ka ng sandwich, dineliver ka agad.
On the same day.
On the same day. I hope you know what you're doing, young lady. So yun ang sinabi mo, ha? Para
Yes,
sandwich. Bigyan mo ako. Sige, padalan kita ng kwan. Babayaran kita. Ito, 500,000. Pinadala mo kagad, right? Di ba?
yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Sino sinabihan mo magpadala sa inyo?
I was only heeding to the instructions of our management po.
Yun ang instructor mo sa management.
Lincoln Ong seems to want to add something,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
Just a moment. I'm on one here. Ang instructor mo si Lincoln Ong. Yun ang sinasabi mo.
Yes po, and Mr. Mohit Dargani.
Mojit Bargani. Alright? Sila nagsabi sa'yo, i-deliver mo kagad.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Alright? I'll get to them. Parang grab delivery lang, ano? Napakasimple. Yes? Di ka ba nagugulat? O, sige, tuloy natin. Tapos nag-order na naman.
Going back to your question earlier, Mr. Chairman,
Sige.
our collection was on April 15 for this project po.
April?
15, 2020 po.
Ano yun? Ano yung April 15?
That was the collection po. Dun po kami binayaran ng procurement service.
Yung 500,000 na dineliver nyo, nakakalaga magkano?
27,
pesos. 8 billion pesos, binayaran na kayo on April 15. Ganun ba?
Mr. Chairman, just to correct po, ang total contract amount for the 500,000 pieces is 13,860,000 pesos po.
Naging 13 million na.
Yes po.
Naging 13 million na.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Can you share your screen with us? You know, lamang na lamang kayo dito eh. Nagbabasa ka nung script ninyo eh.
Hindi po ako makapag-share ng screen
Bakit?
ngayon, Mr. Chairman. Wait lang.
Director General, nakuha mo na ba yung kanyang pinadala?
Hintay pa po namin. Wala pa pong pumapasok as of right now.
Wait lang. Sige po, email ko na po.
Hindi mo pa ini-email. Ano ba? Okay, while you're doing that, sabi mo, April 16 ka binayaran. Ano ba? April 15.
April 15 po, Your Honor.
Ang binayad sa'yo, 13 million, right? Sanabi mo.
Ang binayad po sa amin exactly is 12,978,000.
O, kanina 13 million, ngayon 12 million.
Yes, Your Honor, because ito na po yung na-deduct po yung mga deductions ng PSDBM like the with EWT, FMAT, and then the 1% warranty po.
Anong dinedak? Tandaan ka lang. Sige.
Apo, ang dineduct po dito, Your Honor, is 1% EWT, 5% FVAT, and 1% warranty retention.
May VAT kayo.
Yes po, Your Honor.
1% lang.
May VAT. Di ba walang VAT yan?
Mr. Chairman, for the 500,000 pieces po na surgical mask, this was locally purchased po, not imported.
Yes, Senator Dila?
Just one question with your permission, Mr. Chair. The resource person said that they received and answered the email on March 25, 2020, to my recollection.
Same
March.
day. Same day.
Huh?
Same day.
Sorry? Yes. And they delivered the merchandise when? Also on March 25.
Same day.
Same day.
Parang grab nga eh. Parang grab at saka sandwich.
Same
Parang-
day. Question. This is 500,000 pieces of surgical mask. Tama po ba yan?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Question. Nasa inventaryo nyo ba ito? May inventaryo ba kayo? Hindi maliit ito ha. 500,000 surgical mask. Nasa inventaryo nyo ba ito na i-deliver nyo on the same day?
Opo.
Sabi niya meron.
Nasa inventaryo ba ng kumpanya nyo? Was
Mr.
it in the
Chairman,
inventory?
ito po yung isa sa mga na-explain ni Mr. Lincoln Ong before regarding the statement that we have access to supplies po.
No, pakisagot lang po ng tanong ko. Sabi mo, natanggap niyo yung request for quotation on March 25, 2020. On the same day, you answered the request for quotation, and on the same day, you supplied 500 pieces of surgical masks, which cost or 20 pesos per piece. Question, did you have this in your inventory that you were able to deliver 500,000 on the same day?
Mr. Chairman, at that day, we don't have the stocks on our inventory, but Mr. Lincoln Ong was able to negotiate with the supplier.
Kalugaw-lugaw
Just a
na
moment.
Go ahead.
Then you were lying kanina. Sabi mo, pinadeliver mo kagad, right?
Kalugaw-lugaw na.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman, with the instructions of Mr. Lincoln Ong, because he...
I didn't ask you whose instruction. Sabi mo, pinadala ka ng email, sinagot mo, at pinadeliver mo kagad. Tinanong kita, nandun ba sa inventaryo? Meron. Ngayon, binabago mo ang sagot mo under the instructions of Lincoln Ong. Alam ko na sasabihin mo. Dahil narinig ko yung sinabi ni Lincoln Ong, meron kayong mga kaibigan na nag-supply sa inyo. Yung ba sasabihin mo?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, supply chain manager...
Okay yung mga tao dyan, yung mga naiipit.
Can you please, Mr. Justin Vincent, turn off your... Go ahead. Sagutin mo.
Apo. Mr. Chairman, our supply chain manager is Mr. Lincoln Ong. And then when he instructed me to deliver the stocks that day, I only heeded to his instructions po.
I know. Sabi mo, may inventaryo kayo. Sige, pinadala mo kagad. Tapos ngayon, binabago mo kanina yung sagot mo na merong ginawa si Lincoln Ong na nakakuha siya sa ibang supplier niya. Tama?
Yun po talaga yun, Mr. Chairman.
Ano, sabi mo yung tanong ko. Dali na sinabi mo, si Lincoln Ong, meron siyang contact na makukuha nyo kagad yung 500,000. Kaya na i-deliver nyo kagad. Yun ang sinabi mo.
Yes po, tama po yun, Mr. Chairman.
Tama. Alright? Sino yung contact na yun? Mahirap magsinungaling malilisat-lisat ka dyan.
Lazada.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman, with regards dun sa supplier ni Mr. Lincoln Ong, I have no access po.
Wow, ang bilis yung talaga. Super bilis kayo. Hindi mo alam. Bigla na lang, sinabi mo ba kay Lincoln Ong? Kailan mo sinabi kay Lincoln Ong na mayroon kailang request for quotation?
That same day din po, Mr. Chairman.
Ha?
That same day din po, Mr. Chairman. Kasi we work as a team po for the, biddings po.
So you're telling us na that same day na deliver nyo, dumaan ka pa kay Mr. Ong, sinabi mo ba kay Mr. Ong, may order dito. Sabi mo kanina, meron kayo sa inventory. Nung tinanong ka na, dumaan ka ngayon kay Ong. Ang sasabihin ngayon ni Ong, ay maghahanap ako. Yun ang pinalalabas mo, di ba?
It's like
Young lady, it doesn't suit you.
It's like this, Mr. Chairman. So when I received the RFQ from the PSDBM, I already informed the whole team po. So kami po lahat yung nag-discuss regarding dun sa response namin dun sa RFQ. That's why lahat po kami aware of the RFQ. And then Mr. Lincoln Ong confirmed na meron po kaming supplier na makukuhanan.
Lahat kayo, ikaw ang tumanggap ng email, lahat kayo alam na kagad ang order.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman, because we have a group chat po and dun po kami nagsisend ng
May group chat naman ngayon. Sige, tuloy mo. Go ahead, Franz. You're done.
Pakiulit lang po, mayroon ba kang inventaryo na 500,000 face surgical mask?
I'll get you an introduction. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Yes,
Senator.
Mr. Chairman. Very quickly for clarification lang, ang sabi kasi nung resource person ngayon, April 15, nakakolekta sila. Sa presentation niyo po, Mr. Chairman, ang PO na lumabas, April 16. So, paano nakakolekta ng April 15 kung ang PO for 500,000 pieces between 2772? April 16, as per COA report. Nauna yung collection kesa sa PO. I just want to be clarified do sa testimony ni Ms. Nora. Kung April 15 sinabi niya, yung pagkarinig ng mga namin dito, na April 15 nakakolekta na sila. Nauna pa yung collection sa PO, not even delivery PO lang ito, Mr. Chairman. I just want to be clarified on that. Thank you.
Oh,
Tulog
what
ata
is
si
your
Lacson
answer?
Mr. Chairman, based on our records po, the purchase order is dated April 6, 2020 po.
Iba na naman. Yawa. Iba naman.
Ang purchase order is April 6 pero nakakolekta kayo kagad, nag-order ng March 25 sa'yo, dineliver mo kagad, tapos biglang lumabas ang April 6 ang purchase order.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
At binayaran kayo ng April 15.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Talaga super efficient, ano?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Action.
I'm relying on your presentation, quoting the COA report, that the PO for the 500,000 pieces, this is as per COA, amounting to 27 or 27.72 per piece, April 16. So I'm wondering how they were able to collect
Sorry.
the day before the piece.
Ito nga, Pacho.
The dates, Mr. Chairman.
Would you please tell us the truth, young
Thank you.
lady?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Let me email you a copy of the purchase order which was dated April 6, 2020 po.
Kanina ko pinang-order sa'yo, padala mo lahat yan eh.
Yes po, nakapag-email ako initially nung documents regarding the RFQ po, Your Honor.
While you're doing that, let me ask you a question again. When was your next order?
On the next order po, let me check lang po. For the 2,400,000 pieces of surgical mask po, the request for offer was emailed on April 13, 2020 po.
April 13.
Yes po.
Hmm.
And then we responded.
For how many? 2.4 million quantity?
Yes po,
Minon.
Your Honor. And then on April 14, 2020, Mr. Dargani responded to the request for offer po. So from here onwards, it was Mr. Dargani who was designated as our authorized representative for the contracts with the PSTBM.
These are members of the board, right? Lincoln is a member of the board.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Dargani is a member of the board.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Is it the practice of this corporation na, di ba, ang board, gumagawa lang ng policy yan, tapos kayo nakikialam na yung board member doon sa mga pagwada ng order? Is that what you want to have us believe? Ano? Ganun ba talaga ang policy nyo, ha? I hope you realize, pagka nag-perjure ka o kaya nagsinungaling ka rito, malaking kasalanan yan, ha? Hindi kita tinatakot, hindi kita binubuli. I'm just trying to find out, hindi ka panipaniwala yung sinasabi mo na nag-order na March 25, dineliver niyo on March 25, tapos on April 6, sabihin mo ngayon, bigla mong babawiin, sabihin mo, wala pala kami sa kwan, sabi mo, nasa bodega. Yung pala, wala pala sa bodega. Super Lincoln comes in, Abraham Lincoln comes in and says, oh, bibigyan ka namin ng kaibigan ko, meron. Di ba yun nasalain mo?
Mr. Chairman, just to clarify po.
No. It's very clear to me. Anong ka-clarify mo pa dyan? Yun ang sinabi mo.
Opo, wala po kaming inventory sa aming
Ngayon,
warehouse.
wala na kayong inventory. Kanina, sinabi mo may inventory kayo.
Ang supplies po ay nanggaling sa supplier ni Mr. Lincoln Mr. Chairman.
Dinala yung supplier ng Mr. Ong. Lalabas at lalabas yan eh. Hindi kayo makakapagsinungaling dito. Ang sabi mo kanina, meron kayong inventory. Tinanong ka namin ni Mr. Ong. Tayo mo, biglang to the rescue. Mr. Ong, meron tayo rito. Ngayon, wala talaga kayong inventory, correct?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Yan sinasabi mo, may tama yan, ha?
Opo. So,
Para mamalaya mo na, bago bumili dapat, ang PSDBM, dapat aalamin nila kung kayo ay may kakayahan mag-supply. Kung kayo ay may kakayahan sa pera na mag-supply. Kayo ay may technical capability na mag-supply. Ngayon na sinasabi mo, wala kayong kakayahan dahil binigyan lang kayo ng request for quotation, bigla na lang, sabi mo kanina, meron kayong inventory. Ngayon, sabi mo, wala kayong inventory. Sa pagitan niya, sinabi mo, sabi kasi ni Mr. Ong, katulad ng sinabi niya ng isang araw, na nanghiram siya sa ibang supplier. Sa makatwid, hindi kayo chinek ng PSDBM kung kayo ay may supply. Tama? Tama po ba, ma'am?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Hindi kayo tinanong. Katulad ng pagtanong ko, meron kayong inventory. Sabi mo, meron. Tinanong ka rin ni Senator Jadon, meron kayong inventory. Tapos kayo, wala na biglang inventory. Sabi mo kagad, ang tapang mo pa kanina, dineliver namin on the same day. Wow! Paano nyo madi-deliver yun kung wala kayong inventory? You better think about what you're doing, young lady. Palalim ka ng palalim, ha? Dalawa na ang nahuli natin nagsisinungaling dito. Ikaw ba ikatlo?
No, Mr. Chairman. I'm only
You're actually telling us what your people told you to say today. May nagturo ba sa'yo kung ano sasabihin mo ngayon?
Wala po, Mr. Chairman.
Wala. O, so, mali-mali na yung sinasabi mo kung gano'n. Sige, panindigan mo. Now, sige, bisan kita. The next order was April 13. Tanongin kita. State explicitly the PO number of the 8 million contract. Anong number ng PO number na yun?
PO number for the 500,000 surgical mask, Your Honor, is PO 20 00176-CSE.
00181, ganun ba?
Let me repeat, Your Honor. It's PO 20 00176
76.
CSE.
CSP.
E po.
SP.
E as in echo. E.
Sigurado kaya?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman. I have the record with me po.
Alright. Magkano ang binayad sa'yo doon sa purchase order? Ang sabi mo, 8 million. Ngayon, ang sabi mo, ang binayad sa'yo ay magkano?
The total contract amount, Your Honor, is 13,860,000 pesos.
So, nagbago from 8 million, naging 13 million.
Yes po, Your Honor, because the quantity is 500,000 pieces and then the unit price is 27.72 pesos.
Wow! 27.72. So, yung 8 million, naging 13 million. Hindi umangal yung PSDB. Ba't yung tinaas ang presyo nyo? Tinanong namin kayo, meron ba kayong 500,000 at ang presyo na binigay sa inyo ay lumalabas na 22.52. Di ba totoo yan? Ano, 27.72?
Opo, Mr. Chairman.
27.72.
Yes po.
So nabago yun, imbis na 8 million, naging yung 500,000 naging 13.86 million.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Mr.
Senator
Chairman,
Lacson.
I just help out. Ito yung PO date, April 16, 2020, referring to PO number PO0 o PO 20 0-00176 for
Yes.
2772. Ito yung
Correct.
500,000 pieces.
Right.
Ang cost 20. So, yun ang gusto natin clarify. Dito ba sila nakakolekta ng April 15, ang PO April 16? This is the COA report, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
We lifted in this from the COA report itself.
Mr. Chairman, as earlier stated, the PO date based on our records is April 6, 2020 po, and it is correct that we collected on April 15 with the amount of 12,978,000 pesos.
And this is in reference doon sa 500,000 pieces na ang cost 2772. Correct?
Yes, correct po, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, ang COA report, ito official ito, COA report, I don't know, baka nagkamali ang COA. April 16 yung date eh. May PO number nga dito eh.
Ayan, nakikita mo, di ba?
Ano yan eh?
Mr.
Nasunog din eh. Masanapin mo.
We're showing it, Senator Dillon. Ayan, COA report, 2772, 500,000. Pero ang sabi mo, nung umpisa, meron kayong stock, tapos biglang nawala ng stock, tapos nagbago ang presyo. Na dati, ang
Baka yung
presyo
sabi niya
ay malabas ay 2772, naging 8 million, naging 13 million at ang total na binayad sa inyo ay 12 million plus 936,000.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Oh,
Based on our records, Mr. Chairman.
Tuwan-tuwa kayo dahil binayaran pa kayo mas malaki. Ang unang request for quotation ay 8 million, naging 13 million. Tama?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman. I also find fault in the RFQ, which was earlier sent because the quantity is 500,000 pieces. The unit price is 28 pesos. However, the
Mute.
or 500,000 times 28 pesos po.
10 million.
Madalian.
10 million
Okay,
yan.
sige. I'll go to the next question. Kailan kayo uli nag-order? Oh yes, Senator Dillon.
Yes, just this is really confusing, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
If I may just summarize for the record, para po maintindihan ng taong bayan kung bakit tayo nag-iimbestiga. Sang-ayon po sa ating resource person, natanggap nila yung request for quotation or RFQ noong Marso 25, 2020. Ngayon, ang sabi nila, agad dineliver nila on the same day. At dineliver nila ang 500,000 surgical mask. Hindi ko maintindihan kung may inventory o hindi. Papalit-palit po yung sagot. Ngunit ang sinasabi na naman ngayon na binayaran yung purchase order nila April 16, 2020. Ang ibig sabihin, nag-deliver sila, wala mo ng purchase order, which is so unusual. Hindi po ba? Purchase order, April 16, 2020. At binayaran na lang sila, I don't know when, kung kailan sila binayaran, ngunit wala silang inventaryo noong dineliver nila. Talaga pong mahirap talaga pag na may tinatakpan po kayo, ma'am, nagkakabuhol-buhol yung inyong testimony. Kaya it is not usual. Kalaki ng mga perang ito, 12, 13 milyon. Wala kayong inventaryo. Nakakuha kayo ng, hindi ko alam kung saan yung kinuha yung inyong dineliver. Ngunit, wala kayong purchase order nung dineliver nyo ito. At noong purchase order nyo, April 16, or 3 weeks after the delivery of the merchandise. Tama po ba yun?
Just very quickly.
Can you just let her answer first?
Yes, it's just that the delivery date is April 6, not April 16. On the
I'm
document.
looking at the purchase order here.
Yes.
Purchase order is April 16.
Huh? Oh, well, I have another one that says April 6. So,
when is the purchase order and when is the delivery? Pakiliwanag mo nga, ma'am. Kasi kaya mo namin pinipilit ito. This could be indicative of the way your company was favored by PSDBM on the delivery of this. Now we are even having doubts as to whether this was delivered. Pakisagot niyo muna ng tanong namin. Ano ba talaga ang totoo rito?
Okay, Your Honor, let me just state the facts that I have based on my records po. So we received the RFQ on March 25, 2020, and it is correct that we delivered the 500,000 pieces surgical masks on the same day po, March 25, 2020.
Okay.
These actions were executed based on the instructions of our management po, Your Honor.
Okay, so may inventaryo kayo nung March 25, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, let me clarify po. At that day, we don't have the stocks at our warehouse, but Mr. Lincoln Ong has already negotiated with a supplier who can deliver at the same day po.
Wow.
Okay. So,
Ben, may stock dito talaga.
walang
sir.
delivery nung araw na yon.
Nag-deliver po kami on March 25, 2020, Your Honor.
I'm almost giving up, Mr. Chairman.
We're on the same boat. But I'd like to go
Tapos,
faster, if I may. Senator Drilon, pakinggan natin ang mga sagot nito.
minsan na lang, sir. Minsan na lang. Oh, pagkatapos, kailan po ang purchase order lumabas?
Mr. Chairman, based on our records po, the purchase order is dated April 6, 2020.
April?
6 po, 2020.
April 6. Isang ayon po sa COA, April 16. Mali ba yung COA?
Baka
I'm
na-
only stating facts based on our records, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, where did you get your inventory?
With regards to the inventory, Mr. Chairman, our supply chain manager, Mr. Lincoln Ong, is in charge of the supplies po.
Again?
Our supply chain, Mr. Lincoln Ong, is in charge of the supplies po, Mr. Chairman, and as earlier stated po, he has already negotiated with a supplier po, with a local supplier.
May bodega ba kayo? May warehouse ba kayo?
Yun.
Mr. Chairman, we have a contracted third-party warehouse po.
Saan ito?
This is located in Parañaque, Mr. Chairman.
May warehouse kayo doon. Doon
it-
na galing yung inyong inventory na 500,000 surgical mask?
For the 500,000 surgical mask, Your Honor, it was from the local supplier na kausap po ni Mr. Lincoln Ong. But this supplier, I have no information po.
Ano information?
Senator Gordon, I give up. Ikaw na lang. Hindi ko maintindihan.
Ano ba tinitingnan mo? Laptop, Iha?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman. I'm referring to
Takas
our...
mo nga, pakita mo sa amin.
Hindi ko po... Wait lang, let me check how to... Ano po.
Hindi ko alam kung may nagdidiktat sa'yo, kaya nalilito ka. Kami tuloy nalilito. Di ba nauna muna yung purchase order bago ka bumili? Ito, request for quotation lang, nag-deliver na kayo kagad. Di ba sabi sa'yo, anong quotation nyo? Sumagot ka on the same day. Sabi mo 8 million ang babayaran nyo sa amin. Di ba? Yun ang request for quotation, di ba?
Yes
Tapos
po.
yung purchase order, hindi namin malaman ngayon kung April 6 or April 16. Sabi ng COA, April 16. Sabi mo, April 6. Tapos binayaran ka, naging 13 million na. Ano yan? Tapos bigla kayo nagkaroon ng bodega. Sabi mo kanina, ang sinungaling mo, meron kaming stock sa bodega namin. Tapos bigla naman, wala kaming stock. Tapos to the rescue, Lincoln Ong. So, I don't think I should carry with this witness. Let me move to another witness, if I may.
Mr. Chair,
I would
Mr.
like to
Chairman.
entertain a motion to declare this woman in contempt.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
before we act on the motion of the chairman, may I ask one last question to Mr. Chairman, to this witness, just to complete the story about the delivery. If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Mago, kompleto naman ba yung documentation ninyo sa sinasabi niyong deliveries? 4 po yung basic na dokumento na kailangan kung may delivery talaga nangyari. May delivery order po ba kayo? Yes or no lang po?
We have a delivery receipt po, Your Honor.
No, do you have ang dokumentong kailangan ay delivery order. May delivery order po ba kayo? Or
Based on
wala?
the records that I have, wala po, Your Honor.
Wala. Okay. Pangalawa, may delivery receipt kayo, sabi nyo.
Meron po, Your Honor.
Okay. So, pero may delivery receipt, pero wala yung dapat na unang delivery order. So, butas na. Pangatlo po, meron ba kayong inspection and acceptance report para sa delivery?
Meron po, Your Honor.
Meron. Huli, meron ba kayong statement of account na nandyan yung delivery na iyan?
Meron po, Your Honor.
Meron. Pero just for the record, Mr. Chairman, meron yung second, third, and fourth documents. Pero yung unang-una, which should have started and properly documented this whole chain of supposed delivery, yung delivery order, ay wala po, Mr. Chairman. Salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
One more chance, ha? Ang sabi mo, March 25 ka nakakuha ng email. Tama?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Oh. Pagkatapos, sinagot mo kagad. Tama?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
At dineliver nyo on the same day. Tama?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
At ang sabi mo, meron kayong stock sa bodega. Tama?
Wala po kami stock sa bodega, Mr. Chairman.
Babasahin ko sa iyo yung sinabi mo. Tapos bigla, doon tinanong ka na ni Senator Dino, wala kayong stock. Galing sa ibang tao yan. Alright? Alright?
Galing po sa ibang supplier yung stocks
Ibang
namin.
supplier na hindi mo alam kung sino.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
So biglang nagkaroon ng supplier na hindi mo alam kung sino. Alam mo yung kanta, sino ka ba? Di ba? Tatanungin kita ngayon. Nakuha mo yung email lang anong oras?
Let me check lang po, Mr. Chairman.
I will tell you, ito yung email mo. Nakalagay dyan, 2:24 p.m.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman. 2:24 p.m.
2:24 p.m. Tapos, anong oras mo dineliver?
Let me check lang po, Mr. Chairman.
Anong oras mo dineliver?
I'm checking po, Mr. Chairman.
Ano yung tipatid? Ano yan? Mahirap kasi pag sunod kayo na sunod doon sa mga sinungaling. Pati kayo mahahawahan.
Tama din.
I'm checking the photos,
Wawa yung-
Mr. Chairman. Delivery photos that I took that day, March 25, 2020. We opened the first wing van at around 5:19 p.m. po.
Ang totoo niyan, padala mo nga sa akin yung sinasabi mo. Ang totoo niyan, papakita ko sa itong pinadala mo sa akin, ha? Lugin-lugi kami, ha? Pinapadala niyo sa amin ito lang. Ito nakalagay, ha? Supply and delivery of surgical mask for the procurement service. Ayan, ha? Good day. In response to the request for quotation attached herewith are the following documents. Annex A, price proposal form, schedule of requirements. Kindly acknowledge receipt of this email. Ito ang sagot mo. Alam mo kung anong oras mo sinagot? March 26, 1:19 p.m. Aray. Tingnan mo yung pinadala mo. Ayan o.
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
Sa nagsisinungaling ka, nung sinabi mo, sinagot mo on the same day, at nagsisinungaling ka rin nung dineliver mo on March 25.
No, Mr. Chairman. I already...
Ano ngayon?
Binasa ko po kanina, Mr. Chairman, that I received the email on March 25, 2020, and then that I responded to the RFQ at March 26, 2020.
Ang sinabi mo, you responded. Wala ka sinasabing date. Ako lang nagsabi ng date. Ang sinabi mo, sumagot kayo kagad at dineliver nyo on March 25. Sino ba naman ang sira-ulo na tatanggap ng request for quotation na magdi-deliver kagad? Di ba? Yeah, magaling ka naman. Mukhang magaling ka eh. Pero yung ba gusto mong paniwalaan namin na ang lalaki nitong amount na ito, 8 million to, tapos biglang nag-magic, naging 13 million na. At tapos ang nakalagay doon, ang sagot mo, March 26. Pero dineliver nyo on the same day, March 25. Tapos pumayag kayo, nabayaran kayo, on what date na? Nagbayad kayo, April 15. Imbes na 8 million, naging 13 million. Kung boss mo, you're fired. Okay. I think we have already said our point here. Yes, Senator Dillon.
Ilang boxes ba itong 500,000 face masks? Ilang boxes?
Divide mo yun sa 50.
It doesn't say on our delivery receipt po, Mr. Chairman, kasi naka-pieces po yung nakalagay dito sa aming delivery receipt.
Pero siguro marami ito kasi 500,000 eh.
1,000
Ang
box.
laki nito, hindi mo alam kung ilang boxes ang laman ng isang box o ng order.
Mr. Chairman, I was only
Okay.
basing on our delivery receipt po.
Saan ba dineliver ito?
Sa warehouse po ng procurement service sa Paco, Manila.
Ano?
Sa warehouse po ng PSDBM, Your Honor, sa Cristobal Street, Paco, Manila.
Okay. Mayroon sigurong na delivery receipt na pinirmahan?
Meron po, Your Honor.
Nasaan yan?
I have a copy of the DR din po, Your Honor.
Kailan natanggap yan? Kailan ang pirma?
This was received March 25 din po, Your Honor.
March 20. Senator Gordon, I give it back to you. March 25, ang purchase order ay ang tech ay ang email ay mga 2-something. 221 ba yun? No? It's all confusing, Mr. Chairman. Ang suspetsa ko rito, sir, ito'y ghost delivery.
Possible. That's what I'm heading. That's where we're headed.
Mr.
Because,
Chairman.
excuse me, Senator.
Yes, Mr.
Can you
Chairman.
give us a copy of the contract on that mysterious bodega ninyo sa Parañaque?
Mr. Chairman, our warehouse po na nabanggit ko kanina sa Parañaque is only for the testing kits po, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, panibago na naman ito.
Imbestigahan itong testing kit nito kasi
Testing
duda ako
kits
dyan
lang
eh.
yun.
Yes po,
Hindi ko
Mr. Chairman.
sinabi na doon deliver nung mysterious na nag-deliver
Surgical.
kay Lincoln. Naku Lincoln, pinaligiran ka na ng lubid ng kasalanan dito, ang kasinungalingan dito. Ang ibig sabihin, doon dineliver, pero sinasabi mo na naman ngayon, yun ay para sa testing kits, correct?
Hindi ko po nabanggit, Mr. Chairman, na doon dineliver yung stocks from the supplier ni Mr. Lincoln Ong. What I just mentioned, nung tinanong niyo po ako kung meron kaming warehouse, I mentioned na meron po kaming third-party warehouse, but that is for our testing kits po.
No, wala ka sinabing gano'n. Anong tanong sa iyo? Hindi ako. Anong tanong sa iyo si Senator Drilon? Sinabi sa iyo, may bodega kayo, sinabi mo, eto yung bodega namin. Ang tinatanong ko, nasaan yung kontrata? Padala nyo sa amin yung kontrata para talagang palagi ko talagang wala kayong dineliver doon. Napakabilis naman. Pinaninindigan mo, dineliver mo on the same day. Sino ba sira ulo na wala kang purchase request? Ano kaya mangyayari kung halimbawa nag-deliver ka tapos, ba't kayo nag-deliver? Wala pa kayong PR.
Yes.
Ano ba yung sinasabi ko? Yeah?
Yes, I
Ano
understand.
naman kayo bayaran? Wala naman purchase request pa. Wala naman purchase order Yes, go ahead, Senator Dillon.
So, yung inventaryo nasa Parañaque ba kamo? Saan ang inventaryo niyo?
No po, Mr. Chairman. At that time, wala pa po kaming warehouse dito sa contract na ito po. And then, yung supplier po ni Mr. Lincoln Ong delivered from their warehouse to PSDBM po.
Alright, saan yung warehouse ng supplier ni Mr. Ong?
Hindi ko po kasi nakausap yung supplier ni Mr. Ong. I was only stationed sa procurement service po during delivery.
Mayroon ba kayong binayaran na transport cost of the 500,000 surgical mask?
Mr. Chairman, at that time po, ang responsibility lang po na ibinigay sa akin is to make sure that we deliver the items on time.
So,
But with regards po sa negotiations ni Mr. Lincoln Ong and his supplier, I have no idea po.
so hindi mo alam kung mayroong transport, may truck kayong hinire para maglipat itong inventaryo ito? Kasi hindi maliit ito eh. 500,000 surgical mask. Hindi mo alam kung ilang karton ito. Hindi mo rin alam kung sinong yung truck na nagdala doon. May binayaran ka ba sa truck? Mukhang hindi mo rin alam lahat. Ano? Hindi mo alam.
Mr. Chairman, as I said earlier po, si Mr. Lincoln Ong po ang nakipag-negotiate with his supplier. I was only asked to go to the PSDBM to ensure na ma-deliver po yung items on time.
Okay, well, ensure ma-deliver items on time. And therefore, in order to deliver on time, you had to have transport facilities for 500,000 surgical masks. Hindi po ba?
Yes po, Mr. Chairman.
O anong transport services na hinire nyo?
I believe kasama na din po ito doon sa usapan ni Mr. Lincoln Ong and the supplier po.
Okay.
Hindi mo nakita yung supplier pero you believe kasama na sa usapan yon. Sino nagsabi sa'yo kasama na sa usapan yon? Panibago na naman sagot yan.
Mr. Chairman, that is what I believe lang po. Kasi as
When did you believe that? Nangyari na ba ito dati? First time lang kayo magdi-deliver eh. Wala kayong bodega. Tapos sasabihin mo yung bodega para doon sa test kits. Tapos ngayon, hindi ko po alam. Dahil sa Lincoln anong sabi noon. Tapos meron silang... Anyway, talagang, obviously, talaga, you have been taking us for a ride. Now, let me go now to Lincoln Ong. Finally,